2,400 kilometers from the shore of the Black Sea, where my journey began, I've reached Germany, birthplace of the Danube. What kind of a mother is Germany today, not just to the river, but to all the peoples who call her home? And the songs she sings under her breath or bellows out in beer halls, what do the words really mean? This final episode of the series explores the meeting point of the new Europe and the old, of modernity and tradition. What will emerge from the flames, and how can we, travellers or settled folk, stay sane in a time of massive change? And where does the Danube go when she disappears? This is Passau, a city where three rivers, the Inn, the Ilz and the Danube, converge. The waters brought trade and wealth, but they also brought danger. These walls have withstood floods for nearly 800 years. Today, as part of Bavaria, Passau is up to its ears in tradition. Young people in the city find ways to both enjoy and question its beer garden culture.
Lukas, the Re Ragu.
Yeah.
What is this song?
It's actually a little bit funny. It's kind of a meal in Bavaria, and the first verse is about like we are getting Re Ragu tonight for dinner, and the second verse is like actually we don't like the Re Ragu too much. We actually want some Schweinebraten, but what can we do? We got Re Ragu, so we will eat the Re Ragu. Yeah, it's actually a little bit of nonsense. Our songs, a lot of them are very traditional, old songs like 50, 100, even older. And we also got some like kind of modern songs for a younger audience, but we are playing a broad variety of songs, and a lot of them are traditional music.
Near the tip of the old town where the rivers meet, a group of students write messages on the path. One says, Aktion gegen Bierzelt-Sexismus, action against beer tent sexism. They're protesting against the Donaulied, a traditional Bavarian song with a verse which celebrates sexual violence.
It's actually about a guy walking down the shore of the Danube, and then there's this woman lying there, and she's bare-breasted, and he's like, oh, I saw her lying there, and then he goes, okay, then I'm gonna go and have sex with her. But she's asleep, so she doesn't know what's happening. And then in the middle of it, or basically right after, she wakes up and she likes, what have you done? What happened? And he's just like, well, you know, relax, it's all good. You enjoyed yourself, so, and here's some money, so it's all good. What are you complaining about? So it's actually really condescending, and I mean, it's just rape. So there's no need to argue about the issue here.
Well, of course, not every Volksmusik song is about rape. Not every singer of such songs would really rape someone. Even I think for most people who sing it, it's just fun. Others don't really listen to what they're singing. Some people don't even know the text, but like the melody and just sing it. So we are very aware that we're talking about a very little percentage.
Corinna and her friends started their campaign with a small WhatsApp group. Several thousand people have signed their petition against the song. But they also have many enemies, she told me as we strolled through streets once flooded with singing.
Our goal is not to say you shouldn't sing this song anymore. Our goal is, or our aim is to make people aware that there are texts and lyrics that might trigger some people into bad memories of things that happened to them. Sexism is not only touching women, not only blaming them for being touched, not only talking about how they're dressed, how they looked, about their body shape, about, how fuckable they are. That's even a verb nowadays, and or an adjective. We began our campaign walking through the old town. The very first shop I went into, there was a man talking to me, and he was like, "I won't do that. That's shit. What you do is respectless, and how dare you tell me what my culture should do and shouldn't do, and are you even from here?" That was one of his first questions. And
What did you say to him?
I said, I'm a student in this town and I come from Munich. Munich. That's Isar. So he even separated the Danube from Isar River.
Would you say this song is part of your culture, or it's a distortion of your own culture?
I think it has been part of our culture, but culture is nothing that's once defined and has to stay like this forever. And I think everyone has the right to say, should we really define this again as our culture today? Should this really be part of our future?
No one can accuse Corinna of opposing tradition. Just the mould on the surface, perhaps. To prove it, we went shopping together. The dirndl is a traditional Bavarian dress she's loved since she was a little girl.
What do you think? What's your professional opinion?
Wow, it's very beautiful.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, you both look really good. It's
Thank you.
astonishing shop, really.
Also ihm gefällt der Laden.
Danke, vielen Dank.
Where do you wear the ribbon, and is it something you think about when you put on your dirndl?
I always wear it on the left side, and
Which is actually the side to say you're single.
Yes. Women marry on the day of the wedding. They change the ribbon sometimes.
To the right side, which
the right
means
side.
that you're married. Sie sind verheiratet.
Nein, vergeben.
Yes.
So it's a bit like Facebook, really. If you fill in a relationship or not in a relationship. Or...
You can see it like this. Yes.
Young people like Corinna are acutely aware of the future, but I'm leaving the city to find out more about the past. Like cards, the three rivers of Passau distinguish themselves with their colours: the swift Inn, the slower, more thoughtful Danube, and the black Ilz, the Jack of Spades. I follow the Black River upstream in search of a particular blacksmith, one of the last to ply his trade in this region. Stefan Simic reminds me of a monk, but his cell is vast and his monastery anything but silent. He and one day his son are bringing back an art that's dying out in Europe. I arrive with a special request.
This farm I'm born, you see. And in these days we didn't have so much dreams, what we're going to do. But our parents, my father and my mom as well, said, well, if you finish the school, you need to get a job, you see. And then I didn't know what to do, really. I did all kinds of stuff, working in stone companies.
And then later you came back. What brought you back to the idea of becoming a smith?
Yeah, actually what brought me back was a television movie, in a way. This one program, there was a blacksmith there. His name was Habermann, Alfred Habermann, you see. It was not just that it was his profession, it was his life, it was his philosophy, it was everything for him, you see. And somehow it went through me, you see. And I think he poisoned me then, and I could just not forget it. So I was looking for him there to get some teachings from him.
One of the symbols for me of this journey up the river is a fish. But not just any fish, it's the sturgeon, which is this astonishing fish, the most ancient fish going back 200 million years, it hasn't really changed because the design was perfect. Could we make something like that?
Yeah, I think we can, yeah. So first of all, I found this kind of material. I think we get one out of them, like a bit like this.
Yeah, very good.
Here we could make like a fish usually have kind of this, isn't it?
Definitely a sturgeon, or maybe with a memory of a crocodile somewhere.
Yeah, actually you're right.
Most fish only get baked or fried when they're fresh. This one's actually being forged in the fire in the first place. Something about the quality of the iron, the smoothness of the metal in some places and the roughness in other places makes it particularly lifelike. The curves and bends of it also, as though it's actually swimming through the water towards me. It's a magnificent sturgeon.
The younger sister of hard steel is polished chrome, and for more than a century, Germans have admired their reflections in it. One of the oldest car manufacturers is Audi. These are their holy halls in Ingolstadt on the Danube. This man has the keys.
My name is Thomas Frank. I'm the managing director of Auto Union GmbH, which is the historic department from Audi, and we are here in the so-called holy halls from Audi tradition. We are over 110 years of history in the Four Rings at all, and so this is one of these halls which we have, which we own, to show to the public cars and bikes, of course.
Do you remember the feeling you had when you bought your first car? What was that like?
This is, at my point of view, a very strong, deep feeling, emotion, really like a love to a car, not to a lady, but sometimes a bit comparable, car and people.
How much is that part of the German identity, your own car?
The Germans are proud to their history, and they worked on the history such a long time. And I think the German car industry was always looking for new ideas to put people in cars to have also emotional, but more sometimes rational relationship to a car. You have to have a look into the past of Audi and the very exciting cars of the Audi 80 variant. Now you have to do your own experience.
Very good.
Driving the car.
Thank you.
Can it really go at 170?
No.
It's a bit positive.
Yes, a little optimistic.
Positive thinking.
Yeah. Just got into fourth gear for the first time, I think. It's a very exciting car to drive. Lots of things. The gear stick is very different. The thinness of the wheel, the response to the road, but above all, the sense of driving such a old-timer car. It's quite an honour to drive it here. Just crossing the River Danube.
car industry is under pressure, isn't it? For environmental reasons.
Yeah.
Does the car have a future? And if so, what future should it have?
Of course, it has to be a future, and I think we only need new concepts for driving. Currently, I think it's electric, and the future probably it's gas or something else which has to be invented. But the human being has to be have to have something to drive from one side to the other side. In the cities, of course, you have more possibilities to have other alternatives to drive with small bikes or with electric bikes or with bikes anymore, and something like this. But for individual transportation, in my point of view, you always need to have something to drive, and this may be, I think, I hope, it may be a car. It has to be a car.
Just east of Regensburg, a massive classical building towers above the Danube. The steps up and the columns were designed to make man feel small at the feet of something powerful. Time to investigate.
This is Valhalla, the German Hall of Fame, a massive structure built on the hill overlooking the Danube in Bavaria. The name Valhalla might suggest military heroes slain in battle. Instead, there's a good number of poets and physicists, artists and astronomers. It's a good place to look deep into the German soul.
The German identity, like that of any nation, is a complex cocktail of history and legend, saints and symbols. Adolf Hitler was here in 1937, and during his period in power, school visits soared. No doubt he imagined his own bust chiselled in marble. Instead, there's Konrad Adenauer, the post-war statesman who rebuilt Germany from Hitler's ruins. And Sophie Scholl, a student executed by the Nazis for her non-violent resistance. But I wonder what it means to be German today in the 21st century. Julius is the original Danube man. As a Donau Schwab, he has ancestors all the way down the river, providing him a set of different identities to choose from. His family has made the same journey I made in 1 year over several generations. And as a dreamer, he's taught himself to make boats.
Ich bin neugierig, so definiere ich mich. Ich bin neugierig, ich versuche etwas gerne aus, ich mag's, ich fantasiere, ich führe das aus, was ich fantasiere. Verstehst du, das ist, ich habe irgendwann gesagt, okay, ich will ein Boot haben, wollte nicht viel Geld ausgeben, die Familie hat gesagt, also nein. Und dann habe ich eins gebaut. Dann das zweite habe ich im Wald gefunden. Das ist dieses Teil. Und so lebe ich meinen Traum auf der Donau und auch sonst auf den Meeren, wenn's geht.
What does it mean for you, this place, Valhalla?
Nicht wirklich etwas. Das ist sehr gigantomanisch. Es ist zu groß, es ist zu angeberisch. Zum Navigieren ist das super, weil du weißt, wo du bist.
How do you navigate your own identity?
Ich bin geboren in Senta und mit meinem Papa...
In Serbia?
In Serbia.
But on the shore of the River Tisa, in fact, close to the Danube.
Ja. Großeltern aus Ungarn, Kroatien, Österreich und natürlich Deutschland. Donauschwabe ist ein Teil davon. Das ist wichtig, das ist super, aber ich definiere mich nicht nur als Donauschwabe. Davon habe ich mich gelöst.
The Donau Schwabs left Germany in the 18th century, down the Danube in their flat-bottomed boats. Tempted by the promise of land in the east, in Hungary, Croatia, Romania and Serbia.
Deswegen ist die Frage, Donauschwabe ja oder nein? Ja, sicher, aber so what? Ich war vor kurzem auf einer ungarischen Hochzeit. Selbstverständlich war ich in diesem Moment Ungar. Also ich fühle mich dort wohl, wo meine Freunde sind, wo meine Familie ist, wo wir einfach glücklich leben können. Also das ist nicht abhängig von der Nationalität.
While Julius chooses which identity, which flag to fly at the stern of his ship, Germany is struggling to cope with the large numbers of migrants who arrived here. 1.7 million people in just 5 years. The country's political leaders boldly announced that genuine refugees must be given a chance. But the issue sharply divides the population. 1 in 4 people in Germany today was born outside the country, and many Germans resent the new arrivals. Julius's son-in-law, Yo-Yo, is a DJ in Regensburg. He's promised to take me to meet some young asylum seekers.
Julius was saying you work with refugee kids.
Yeah, I have a music project with them. And actually at the moment we are recording some stuff and try to make a new music video.
Yeah.
And if you want, you can come.
Yeah, I'd love
with
to.
us.
Thank you.
All the kids Yo-Yo and his colleague Heidi work with reached Germany as teenagers from Afghanistan, Kurdistan, Eritrea and Guinea. They're allowed to live and study here for now, but their future in Germany is uncertain. I wonder what I can contribute to their lyrics.
Und sieh mich rosarote Wolken durch das Leben tragen. Hier hast du schwarz auf weiß, es ist keine Frage. Bunt ist unsere Lieblingsfarbe.
Excellent.
I like this.
The subject is in German. Bunt ist unsere Lieblingsfarbe.
And it's still the title of the rap song.
Right. Bunt in English is kind of a bit difficult to translate. It means bright colours, many coloured. Yeah.
All
So
the colours we have.
all the colours are our favourite colours, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. What's all this like for you? You know, how does it feel to be involved in this?
Si on regarde l'exemple de la nature, ce que la nature nous a donné, le Donau, elle a pris la source en Allemagne, mais cette fleuve a traversé beaucoup de pays.
Oui, je crois 9 ou bien
9 pays.
10, oui.
Ouais, mais elle n'a pas choisi, je vais aller en Hongrie, ou bien je vais à Roumanie. Tout c'est même chose pour lui, il a pris sa route, il est parti. Donc ça veut dire que on peut, avec une bonne idée, avec toutes les personnes aussi, on peut être ensemble et faire beaucoup de choses.
I've come up with a couple of lines of my own that maybe we could build into them if this works, okay? And it's related to my own project, which is a journey up the river Danube. And it goes like this. I'm moving up the river, got my head out of the sand, feeling good on the water, feeling good on the land.
Cool.
Wow, great.
Yeah.
Probably it should be longer, but that's a start. And I don't know if we could somehow build that into your song.
Korrekt, wir sind verschieden und am Ende alle gleich. Dass wir bunte Menschen sind, macht uns so mega reich.
Wow. Moving up the river.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, so. Yeah.
داوام ئەوەیە شێوەیە ڕاستبیت کاتێک دەبینم لە لای خۆمەوە وەک وایە تازە لە دایک ببمەوە ڕاستە ڕووناکی سەوز لە بە ئێمە چاکە دەکەم تۆ چاود لێمە هەوری پەمەی و سووری ئێمە
I'm moving up the river, got my head in the sand, feeling good on the water, feeling good on the land.
پرسه میزنم تو خیابونا همیشه واسه تماس حالم خوبه رفیقایی دارم این برام جدیده مسیرم و نشون میده ادامه بده همیشه ادامه
Egal ob der dann schwarz ist oder lila oder grün Ich werde ihn mit den Augen eines Neugeborenen sehen Korrekt, wir sind verschieden und am Ende alle gleich Dass wir bunte Menschen sind, macht uns so mega reich
I'm moving up that.
Yeah, no, it's okay, it's okay. Yeah.
The kids enjoy making music and studying. By focusing on the future, they try to forget what they endured to get here. Each has big plans.
Hast du mir gesagt, Mina, dass du möchtest etwas zurückgeben? Also du möchtest Ärztin werden.
Ja.
Warum?
Ich will erst sein oder Medizin studieren, weil ich kann mit diesem Beruf, mit diesem Job, wenn ich habe das, ich kann viele Leute helfen. Und weil ich habe vorher bis jetzt sehr schlimme Leben und das war sehr schlimm für mich. Und jetzt ich verstehe und ich weiß, viele Leute wollen helfen. Und wenn ich habe guten Job, Medizin oder Arzt, ich bin Arzt, dann ich kann einfach helfen und ich bin bereit.
Also du bist von Guinea. Wie bist du nach Europa gekommen? Wie schwierig war das?
Ja, bei Mali, dann Algerien.
Also über die Wüste?
Ja.
Through the desert?
Ja, danach Libyen. In Libyen war Katastrophe. Ja, weil wir waren im Gefängnis und viele Leute sind gestorben und sie schlagen uns auch. Keine Essen. Dann ich bin dort geblieben, ungefähr 6 Monate. Ja, 6 Monate. Sie nehmen uns neben dem Wasser, dann sie machen uns im Boot und dann wir kommen nach Italien.
Du hast mir vorher gesagt, dass du möchtest ein Buch schreiben.
Ich will ein Buch schreiben. Ich musste das. Ich muss das machen, weil ich habe viele Dinge gesehen und ich muss das schreiben. Danach, wenn ich alt bin oder ja, ich bekomme Kinder, dann sie können auch wissen, was Geschichte war meine so. Liebe. Dann, ich glaube, das ist richtig. Auch ich glaube nicht für mich. Jeder muss das machen. Ja. Weil wir lieben nur einmal.
Wenn ich mein Glück in der Hand durch die Welt trage und alle Häuser, alle Menschen farbig anmale, dann wird's mir nicht zu bunt. Es ist keine Frage, bunt ist unsere Lieblingsfarbe. Gib grünes Licht und ich zeige dir den roten Faden und wie mich rosa-rote Wolken durch das Leben tragen. Hier hast du schwarz auf weiß, es ist keine Frage, bunt ist unsere Lieblingsfarbe. Bunt. Und wir sind
Upstream of Kelheim, the Danube is too shallow for large ships. They branch off north through other waterways to reach, eventually, the North Sea, leaving me to enjoy what's left of the Danube in the rain.
Before I got on this ship today, I thought I might be the only passenger. Who else would battle upriver on a rainy autumnal morning? In fact, the good ship Renata filled up rather fast, and now I've discovered why. It's rather warm and rather luxurious to be inside with this magnificent view of the Danube gorge on either side.
The good ship Renata is run by Renata herself. She inherited the trade from her family. The ship is new, but the hands on the wheel and the faces in the cliffs are ancient.
Ich kenne die Donau jetzt fast 60 Jahre Und ich bin schon als kleines Kind hier auf natürlich kleineren Schiffen aufgewachsen. Ich habe meine gesamte Freizeit hier verbracht. Als ich zur Schule ging, war der erste Weg nicht nach Hause, sondern auf das Schiff. Habe hier meine Hausaufgaben gemacht, habe hier zu Mittag gegessen und bin dann erst abends mit meinen Eltern wieder heim. Ich bin hier aufgewachsen, ich habe hier das Schwimmen gelernt, das Bootfahren gelernt. Ja, das ist mein Bezug zur Donau. Ich wollte aber auch nie woanders hin. Also es hat mir hier immer gefallen und ja. Mein Urgroßvater hatte bereits eine Zille, da hat die Gäste von einem Ufer zum anderen übergesetzt. Er war Zillenfahrer, also Fährmann und Fischer.
How unusual is it to be the captain of a ship and a woman?
Das war früher sehr schwierig, als ich zu lernen begonnen habe. Da war ich auch das einzige Mädchen, die einzige Frau. Der erste Schiffsführer, bei dem ich an Bord war, der hat am ersten Tag zu mir gesagt, mit einem Mädchen fahre ich nicht. Wir sind dann aber sehr schnell Freunde geworden und haben uns gut verstanden. In der heutigen Zeit ist es wesentlich einfacher. Frauen fliegen Flugzeuge, Frauen fahren Busse, Lastwagen und natürlich auch Schiffe.
The sky-high cathedral spire in Ulm reminds me of the lighthouse in Sulina on the shore of the Black Sea in Romania, where my journey began. It has to be that tall to keep an eye on the whole river, I guess. And beneath it, in the late September sunlight, I found the simplest solution to my travelling needs: a soup.
Very nice way to arrive in Ulm. The strange thing is that you feel, standing up on one of these boards, a little bit like the cathedral itself, like a tower, but a tower on the river.
You liked it?
Very much, yeah. I was getting the hang towards the end. It was a bit difficult at the beginning, especially turning. I've got to go up the tower now.
Oh, okay. Nice. So it would be good if you grab enough to drink, because you have many steps to walk.
Well, I think the balance, getting a bit of balance from this may help on that long staircase.
Yeah. Okay.
Have a nice view.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So now I've reached Ulm Minster. It's the tallest cathedral tower in the world. Last time I was here, this square was full of market stalls. Today it's full of open-top Mercedes. It's as though the cars have come here to pray, or perhaps the Germans worship their cars today. But I'm more interested in the tower. Walked up 392 steps, and it's good to rest here on this level. This is astonishing view down onto the 10 bells of the cathedral. The whole room is resonating around me. I'm about halfway up the tower now, another 370 or 380 or so steps to go to the top. Finally, I'm at the top. It's so high here, I feel I ought to be able to see all the way back to the beach of the Black Sea in Romania, where my journey began, or the last stretch, 150 kilometers or so, to the Black Forest to the west, to the source of the Danube. In fact, it's a bit too hazy.
The Danube gets slimmer by the day, like an athlete on a diet. But as the river shrinks to barely more than a stream, there's no sense of loss, rather of excitement. I'm on my way, like the explorers of old, in search of the source. And this land was expecting me, or so I felt. The proud hills of the Black Forest emerge from the fog, the end point of my journey.
Still some way to go to the source of the Danube, so I found a place to stay, and not just any place. My host here, Peter Eich, is turning this old forester's house into a meditation centre.
Peter Eich's names mean stone and oak. He's a successful businessman who sold all his companies to settle here, high in the Black Forest. The waters from his hill flow in two directions, west to the Rhine and east to the Danube. But the sound is universal.
I am here to slow down, basically. I found this place, the house, 3 years ago, and I've been renovating it for 2 years. And it's a new chapter, a very new chapter of my life.
So you were going too fast before that?
I was going very fast before that, yeah.
How fast?
13 companies that I founded and grew and sold most of them within 15 years. And there was a high speed.
And all these companies you set up, Peter, did they have all something in common?
Well, one example is a company that provides an app for your smartphone with millions of bike routes that you might want to cycle. So wherever on earth you are, you can just check, where can I cycle around here? And there will be tons of answers.
And this place, it looks amazing. I mean, it's a very old house, but there's a lot of very new elements.
Yeah, it is 300 years old. A heritage-protected Black Forest-style former farmhouse, which was a forestry house for the past 100 years. So it's all about the forest outside.
Why the Black Forest?
Well, first I grew up in the northern Black Forest and I really like it. It feels like home to me. But also I think there is something very special, grounding about the Black Forest, and I think I will show you tomorrow morning what I mean. Here's one of the stumps that I find perfect for meditation. So the way they cut the tree with 1, 2, 3 and 4 cuts.
To make it fall in a certain direction.
Exactly, it fell this way. Makes it a perfect chair for meditation, even with heavy shoes in the forest.
Yes.
They easily fit underneath here. And it also makes you feel connected with the tree, with the roots, with the earth. All this downward, you're very stable. It's all connected with the earth. And sitting here for minutes and just enjoying the silence and maybe listening to the sound of the wind in the trees and waiting for some animals to appear because they don't mind coming closer once you don't move. That is very special.
Looks very comfortable.
Yes, so have a seat and I will go there and
okay, good.
We both have our own place.
Great.
Nick, I will now teach you an experience that you can take with you. Close your eyes and go through your senses. Start with what you hear. Maybe you can hear some birds. Maybe you hear some insects around you. Maybe you even hear the wind. And imagine that this would be your place for 100 years, 200 years, maybe 400 years. And it provides you with everything you need. Light, air, water.
Peter, look.
Oh!
It's beautiful.
The treasure at the end of the rainbow is
Yes.
exactly the source of the Danube. I'm not kidding.
Seriously?
For real. It's right there. The highest tip is the Brent, and just behind you will walk too soon.
Well, the Danube's been a pretty big treasure in my life. Thanks very much for everything.
You're very welcome.
See you again.
I hope so.
Thanks.
Have a good trip and one coming.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
On this journey, I've been searching high and low for the lost heart of Europe. And I've lost and found it many times, above all in the kindness of people, to me as a stranger and to one another. It's what makes this part of the planet precious. But the land too is alive, with a mind and a voice of its own. In this film, I've been fortunate enough to be its mouth. Nothing can stop me now, the last few yards through the forest to reach the place it all begins. Of the three sources from which the Danube collects its water, this one is the furthest away. People quarrel about the true source of the Danube, but this is my favourite, a little stream called the Breg, bubbling out of the ground here in the Black Forest. My last chance to taste the waters of the Danube, 3,000 kilometres from the Black Sea. Delicious. Every circle is perfect, or we could not call it a circle. At the source, I met Michael, a man on a bike setting out on this very day on his own journey.
I want to start here from the source and follow it till the Black Sea.
That's the way I came.
Ah,
I
from
just
the
came
other side?
from the Black Sea, up the river.
Okay. I'm very interested how it looks like more far behind in Hungary, Romania and so on.
When I go to sleep at night, I can sometimes picture the whole river. You know, it's as though I carry it in my mind.
And why? Upstream?
I think it's like my life. I'm always going against the flow of things.
Okay.
Looking for the most difficult way of doing things.
Okay.
Why are you making this journey?
Well, I'm 50 plus and I work a lot, and I have the feeling I need a project for a longer time. A river is always like a line that leads you to somewhere.
Yeah.
And just to meet people, see the landscape, cities, villages.
Have a safe journey.
Thank you very much.
And all the best.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. One journey ends, another begins.